Hi, and welcome to another episode of Relax, I Got This. Today, we're going to talk about some of the things that we've heard in the marketplace about the fear of buying a home. And I have mortgage lender Mylo Draven, and we're just going to chat about what some of those fears are and why maybe you should move forward in spite of them. So stay tuned.
A real estate transaction is potentially the largest investment we make in our lives. Whether you're buying and selling your personal home or investing in real estate, you need the knowledge to make the right decisions. Get ready. Robin is a Texas realtor and has the experience to give you the information you need to make the right decisions. Welcome to Relax, I Got This with your host, Robin McCoy.
Hi, everybody. Robin McCoy, Texas Realtor with Keller Williams, and welcome back to another episode of Relax, I Got This. And yes, once again, we're going to talk lending, financing. It is the linchpin to all the real estate deals. So I have past returning guest Mylo Draven, a VIP mortgage, been in the business 8 years, almost 10 years, something like that. And we're just going to talk about what's going on in the financing world. How are you?
You know, I'm 5'9" above the ground. I'm living my best life.
People say, how are you? I woke up above ground again today. It's going to be a good day, right?
Yeah, I mean, I used to say I'm 6 feet above the ground. I'm like, well, that's a lie. I'm going to hell. So let me start.
All right, at 5'9" above the ground.
Yeah, so now I'm very specific about it.
Make sure you don't lose any ground there, literally.
Literally.
All right, well, let's talk about, what's the deal? What's the deal in financing? I'm talking to potential buyers, and they say, well, the environment's a little scary. Banks have failed. Interest rates are so high. So what the heck is going on?
Yeah, I mean, look, the world is a dumpster fire, and you've got two choices. Watch the fire near the fire in a mob of idiots, or buy a home and be protected and change the channel.
Change the channel and be happy in your home. I mean, we were talking a minute ago, just that there's no perfect time to purchase a home.
Yeah, I mean, look, clearly I'm a lender, and I call myself the runaway buyer. It was 6 contracts until I finally signed at the closing table. And, there were various points in my life where I was under contract for different types of homes. And ultimately, none of those times were the right time, but I was committed to the process. It was just something that didn't work out part of the way through. So I tell my clients, look, if you're thinking about buying, then now is the time. Once you have that little seed planted, it's time to fertilize it, make it grow, right? Blossom it. Because the people that were waiting last year are kicking themselves this year. The people that waited the year before, right, are gloating or pissed. Right? Like, my friend laughed because she's a lender. She's trying to assume a loan, and she's like, Mylo, it's 3%. I said, okay, so you're waiting almost 120 days to try to assume this loan, that like all of this stuff could go wrong when you could literally buy a home right now for less upfront cost. She said, okay. So if you're always trying to find the better option, you're never going to do anything.
Well, you get analysis paralysis, right? It's like, well, if I get this rate, then it's this, but I just have to pay that. And if you would just really look at it like, buy the house, move into the house, and nothing is set in stone, right? No. You can always change a loan. You can always sell a house. You can.
That's it. I mean, this is the Texas housing market. I mean, people are gaining equity leaps and bounds over people in other homeowners in other states. And you're right. Rates go up, they go down. Yesterday, it was forecasted on the 2-year bond security that in 2 years, rates will be around 3%. Okay, well, that's a projection.
Yeah.
So the people that are going to wait 2 years, in 2 years, when it's really, still 6%, why'd you wait 2 years? You just lost $25,000 in equity.
And yes. And that you may have it at 3 or 4%, but maybe that same house that was $350 today is now $425
or $500.
Yes. Or $500 or wherever
Yeah. Or
You
you
are,
know, in a
right?
multiple offer situation, you don't have that much cash. I mean, there's so, again, analysis paralysis, right? You can play all of these different scenarios in your brain so much that you just shut down.
Yeah.
It boils down to this. Well, story first. So I put a meme on my Instagram yesterday on my story. It's Elmo. I have to tell you offline what this guy, I'll send it to you. It's really funny. He's all he does, whoever creates these, it's literally just baby Elmo cursing and carrying on about everything. It is chef's kiss. You can't not laugh. So yesterday it was Elmo saying, "So this is what it'd be like if you're a renter." And he's screaming at the ceiling, like what that all of that. And I'm like, that's what it boils down to. Are you tired of having a side neighbor, an above neighbor, potentially a bottom neighbor?
Yeah.
Right? Are you tired of? I used to hate paying my rent. I
Because
literally
it's
thought I was
so
being,
much.
yeah, so much. I used to think I was so clever at paying it on the third. You're not going to get my money for 30 days. You're going to get it every 20, every, right?
Just
Like
feeling
I'm
like
such
you
a
had some
rebel.
sort of control over
Yeah,
something.
I'm so clever. But I'm telling you, my mortgage, I pay it on the first gladly. I am happy to pay it because this is mine.
Yeah.
Right? The things that used to bother me at work or in life in general don't bother me because I own a home.
You've
It
got
is
your,
really
you
it's
don't
just a
have crazy
shifter
people
in your
next to you.
mindset.
Yeah, you don't have, it is a mind shift because you go home and it's home.
It's home.
And I don't have to argue with the person parking in my spot. I don't have to listen to their awful music. I don't have to smell their dinner. I don't have to,
Yeah. I can
all
paint.
the,
I can move my
yeah,
furniture whenever I want. I can do laundry at any hour. I mean, what it boils down to for anybody who's thinking about it is, are you ready to put yourself in a better position? Do you believe that you deserve more? Because
yeah,
6%, 6.5% is still historically low. Yes, the prices are higher for homes than they were when your mother bought one 20 years ago at 11%, but we're not looking back. We're talking about
no,
today. And prices are fair. They've settled down from a year and a half ago where people were spending $120,000 over ask, which I never understood how. I just revolt people. Stop buying. If you all stop buying for 45 days, you'll all stop overpaying.
yeah.
I just didn't get it. But again, well, who am I? I just turned the channel.
Well, and to that point, yes, interest rates were 3% or whatever they were, and now they're 6 or 7 in their, whatever day we're talking,
Yeah.
um,
Or hour.
or hour. But when you're paying that $50,000 in cash, that money is gone. It is never coming back, and that seller is buying a new car.
Yeah.
If the interest rate is higher and it changes, you can redo that. That is a changeable aspect of the transaction. That 50 grand is gone.
Yeah. I mean,
And
you
people don't
can,
get that.
yeah, you can make, I tell all of my buyers, even the ones who are buying second homes, clients you and I have shared, right? Repeat clients that you have. And I tell them, just make sure you pay every 2 weeks. If you pay bi-weekly, you will trim off 20 to 30 to $40,000 in interest if you keep this house for the life of the loan by paying nothing more than what you're supposed to pay. And the light goes on. Oh, it's a simple interest loan. If you get bonuses every month or at the end of the year, do a lump sum payment. If somebody passes away and Nana leaves you money, thanks Nana, recast your loan, right? You call your servicer, say, hey, I'd like to make a $55,000 payment to principal and I want my loan recast so that my payment goes down. They charge like $200.
See, it's changeable. It's
All
not,
of it's all flexible. It's just
yeah.
about having the right mindset and having the right team. Robin McCoy and Mylo Draven. Did somebody say that?
Wait. Who is that? What's going on?
I mean, the voices are coming, people.
Ah.
But I
But
mean,
you
that's
know what?
it.
It is true. It's your team, right? You have a team. You have a realtor. You have a lender. Then you have, maintenance people, and you have title people. If something changes and you need to make an adjustment to that title,
Yep.
it's a team into this transaction. And so once that's over with, I mean, I expect my clients to call me with any questions they have. And when they call me and ask me about, their loan, I say, well, Mylo did that. Why aren't we calling Mylo? I told you I don't talk about what I don't do. So you need
Yeah.
to call Mylo.
Yeah. I mean, I get texts all the time, and I go to closings unless I'm out of the country.
Every one of mine. I don't know what
Yeah.
that's about.
Yeah, I mean, so, but I tell everybody, text me at closing. I'm like, text me when you start getting all this junk mail,
Yep.
right? Because everybody's gonna want you to pay for something that you don't have to pay for.
Yep.
90% of them are gonna look realistic until you get to the teeny tiny small print at the bottom that you can't even see.
It
So
says
I
this is
get
an
text.
ad.
Yeah, I get texts at 10 p.m., 8:30 a.m. Is this real, Mylo? What's this? Or I get hey, I'm thinking about buying again. Can I get pre-approved? Sure. And then I'm like, have you talked to Robin? Yeah, she already knows. Okay, great. Like you don't break up a successful team. You just enter the battlefield again. And luckily, when you have the right team, it's not really a battle. It's choppy waters at best, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I always thought, I tell people, I said, it's fun, and then it's not fun, and then it's fun again. Is this the year that you're going to stop paying rent? Is this the year that you are going to finally purchase your own home? But where do you start? How do you get your questions answered? Well, I'm Robin McCoy, and I'm a Texas realtor with Keller Williams. Relax, I got this. I have a home buyers masterclass the first Saturday of every month, and it's free to you, and it's all online. Just text the word masterclass to 214-226-3770, and we'll get you registered and on the path to home ownership. I tell people, I said, it's fun, and then it's not fun, and then it's fun again. And, and that's it. It's fun to start looking for a house. It's not fun when it starts to get difficult, and then you have to do all the loan stuff, and you keep calling them for different information, and they have to go find it. And that's not very fun. And, all the paperwork part isn't fun. But then we're at the closing table, and it's fun again. And you get keys, and now you have your new house. And it's just like anything else, right?
Yeah,
not everything is rainbows and unicorns all the time.
No, you got to do the work. And, look, I tell all my clients, we're doing all the legwork up front. It's not going to be rough. Once the underwriter looks at it, we're going to have some more. She's going to have questions. We're going to need a few more things. And that's it. It's not rocket science. I mean, I'd love to say I have a degree in
mortgage lending.
Well, not even that, like I'd love to tell you I'm a PhD in, physics and arithmetic or something, but I'm not, it's not crazy. It's about, I think what you and I do more than most, and really what really is the key factor to success in both arenas, is it's relationships. Mm-hmm. You're really providing a service of keeping somebody calm, keeping them informed, because for me, my clients, the more they know, the easier they are to deal with, right? Because nothing's unexpected. People do not like surprises.
Especially when they're dealing with $500,000.
Yeah, what do you mean it's $30,000? I thought it was 22.
Yeah,
no, right?
That's a lot. That's
this about me. I overestimate everything. Look, it's probably going to be 25, but but let's go ahead and plan for 29. Yeah. And then it comes in at 22.5. They're like, what's this? I'm like, so I overestimated a little heavy. Sorry.
Yeah. But, and I tell people, I said, Mylo will overestimate. And you want that because you want the highest. You want to shoot for the highest so that when it's less than that, you get a little bit, you feel good about that. You can go buy new furniture now.
But what I've learned is people will buy the furniture with, so if I don't overestimate by a few grand, that few grand is gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just is. I don't care if they're savvy or not. They just spend it. And
I had a client, her husband, because I tell you don't get to buy anything. Well, we want to do this. Call the lender. Call the lender. I don't know what it's going to do to you. So you need to call Mylo and find out if it's going to hurt you or not. So I wouldn't let her buy anything. We closed on the house and her husband's like, can you still keep her from buying stuff? That was real nice. I kind of like that.
So I closed a deal a few weeks ago, and the borrower was the realtor, right? He had both sides of the deal. And so he called me. We were closing on Wednesday and it was Monday. He said, hey, so I just want you to know I bought my Tesla. So dead silence, just like that. And I said, okay, well, it probably would have been better if you waited till after you sign the documents. But if it goes back to the underwriter and delays your closing, I mean, I have somewhere to live, so I'm good. He's like, wait, what? I said, no, I mean, do what you do. He said, I'm only kidding. I said, okay, well, then you owe me $100 for this wasted time. Compensation for this. He said, you really weren't upset? I said, well, if you've already done it.
I can't. It's done. You don't get to take stuff like that back.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too. People don't realize that, it's like, well, I go put everything on my credit card because I get mileage points. I pay it off at the end of the month, or I pay it off when I get home. Like, yes, but what that does is it gets reported and it's up and back and up and back, and the lender gets different information. You just need to wait for 30 days.
Yeah, stop using your cards.
Stop using your cards for 30 days, and then you can do whatever you want once we sign the documents.
Yeah, the first question I ask a lot of people is, do you have an American Express card? Because if you do, pay it now, because I don't want to see a $20,000 balance on your revolving charge, right? Or your credit card that you tell me I'm gonna pay off. Please just pay it off now. Because you're gonna have to.
That. Yeah. Let's just do that. Well, and it's true, right? I mean, let's do whatever. If we're going to buy a house, like you just said a minute ago, if it's in your brain that, honey, maybe we should think about buying a house, then let's go buy a house. And what you want to do is start getting those steps in place.
Yep.
You want to, find the realtor, and let's find the trusted lender, and let's see what we need to do. Right? Do we have something that's going to mess us up that we don't know about? Let's have that financing piece so we don't get our heart broken when we find the house of our dreams, but then we've got a MasterCard that's sitting out there that needs $400 paid off on it, or whatever that looks like. And because it didn't seem like a big deal. Yeah. But it's a big deal.
And please make sure you tell everybody the truth. I tell borrowers, did you tell this to, did you tell Robin this? Well, no, she doesn't know. I'm thinking, yeah, she knew, she would be mad. Because I'm furious right now. But don't. It's true. Yeah, don't. I tell my clients, the same way you don't want a surprise from me through the process, I don't want a surprise from you. Mm-mm. And ultimately, I should be able to figure it out. But if you've really given me some kind of shenanigans, you could lose your money.
Yeah. I mean, and it's our job to protect it, but we can only do that if we know all the facts.
Yeah. I mean, I tell everybody, I'm not bothered by how you live. I'm just trying to get you down a path.
Yeah.
Whatever you do is your business. But
what you do on the path is up to you, but we got to stay on the path.
Yeah, but this 30 days that we're best friends, honey, I'm driving the cart. Just sit back there with the apples. It's fine.
Yeah. 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 And it's and I don't want to get up, like you said, I don't want to get all up in your business, but sometimes I have to be in your business because
I need to know if you, I had a client a few years ago. All of a sudden the underwriter's like, well, he has kids. I said, what? I know his girlfriend. They don't have kids. He was previously married, divorced, and had 2 kids. I'd known him for 2 years. I did not know this about him. So when I called him, I'm like, so you have kids? He's like, is it a problem to procreate? I said, oh my God, no. I don't,
no.
I could care less. But do you pay child support? Is there debt? He's like, well, I mean, I'm not court mandated. I said, okay, stop the sentence. That's all I need. Stop talking.
That's right. Because I don't care about no court mandated child support.
Whew,
But
but
but you
they're
know what?
doozies. They
You've
leave
got to
me
know
with
this
these
stuff.
bombs.
Yeah. And
Ex-wives, ex-husbands, kids, property in another state. I closed a deal that had a property in another state.
you got to know about this stuff.
We didn't think you'd find out. We own it. Girl.
There ain't nothing.
I tell all my clients,
Everything is find
what
outable,
I
and it's
don't
all
find
found
out.
outable.
Yeah, what I don't find out that you didn't tell me, I promise you the underwriter will find it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
They're
and
like
that,
excavators.
and that kind of goes back. I mean, this is kind of not on your end, but on sellers as well. Just because you don't want somebody to know that there's this estranged child from another marriage out there in the world, so you don't tell anybody about that person, doesn't mean title's not going to find out about that person and they have to sign off on the house.
Yeah.
So there's really, what I'm getting to is there's no secrets in a real
No.
estate transaction, and you don't want there to be secrets.
And more importantly, there's no judgment.
No.
I'm not judging you. I
No.
sit on a throne of glass in a glass house. I don't judge.
No.
I mean, honestly, the more salacious the gossip from my clients, the happier I am. It's great for podcasts and coffee talk. I'm
absolutely. And I've got a pretty, routine life. So some of the stories are pretty good for some,
Yeah.
and you know what? The truth is there is no judgment. How you want to live if I've got a single woman that wants 4,000 square feet and I don't understand why you would want a house that big, more power to her.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to reduce down from my 2,000 and still be able to keep my husband and my dog in there.
That's it. I mean, when it's all said and done, we'll circle it all back around. It starts with I heard this on a show earlier. It starts with the mustard seed that's planted. It just starts with a thought. I think I want to buy a home. The next thought should not be, oh, but my credit's horrible, or, oh, I don't have enough money, or, oh, the rates are high. The next thought should be, I need to call a lender. I need to call a realtor. I need to call my friend who just bought a house to find out who keep the forward momentum, because ultimately what someone thinks is a hard stop for you and I is nothing.
No, it's just a day in the life of the business.
Yeah, it's not even a sidestep. It's like, keep walking. We're good. Like, this is nothing. Literally nothing. So, and that was part of my issue 6 times around, right? And even the first time it was with a spouse, and that relationship collapsed. But, you're thinking, are we ready to buy a house? I mean, what happens if we get a divorce? Yeah. Child, we get half. We both put in we both take out of it. Like, I mean, I literally looked at my ex and said, if we divorce today, we get nothing because we're paying rent. If we divorce in 2 years, there's some cash if we sell this bad boy.
That's right. We get paid.
Yeah,
it's true.
It's a payday. Like,
we get, the stories, and there's a book by John Acuff called Soundtracks, and all these soundtracks that we tell ourselves. But what if we get divorced? What if we have kids and it's not big enough? What if mom needs to move in with us? What if, and these soundtracks keep us in our spot, in that hard spot. So you change that soundtrack to, if we get divorced, we get some cash at the end of it. And I'm going on vacation.
Call me if you're thinking about getting divorced. Buy a house. It may not save the marriage, honey, but it sure will save the divorce.
Yeah, it will. Exactly.
It'll be nice and amicable as you're splitting $50,000 in equity. I mean,
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So,
we laugh, but these are the things that stop people, right? People stay rooted in fear, and you got married. This is what I told one of my married couples, because they're like, we don't know. And I said, okay, but you got married, right? You said yes. That's terrifying. You said, yes, I want to spend the next 50 years with just you. So now you're scared to live with them in the same house? You're stuck with them and you've already committed. Like, I don't.
Well, and people spend more time looking for a house than they do for a spouse.
Honey, preach. Look. 155, the lights are coming off. Jesus Lord.
But we live it, we do. We have these fears and the things that are going on in the world trigger those fears, right? Banks failing and the headlines saying this is crashing and blah, blah, blah.
That's it. We're a world based in fear mongering, right?
Yes.
If you're a minority, don't step out of the house at night. If you're XYZ, don't go here. I mean, there's rules for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, now you've got Credit Suisse, the bank in Silicon Valley, and 4 other banks that have collapsed and are being rescued. And even, where I work is being affected. Everywhere is being affected. But we're in Texas. We're literally in a place that dances and marches and stomps to its own beat.
Yes.
When the recession hit 10 years ago, it didn't hit here nearly as bad, and it was about a year after everybody else was crying.
Yes.
And the housing market, as that tumbled everywhere else, we didn't really see a problem.
Mm-mm.
We're not going to see, and this is, look, I'm not Barry Habib, I'm not a forecaster of any renown, but I live and breathe this 7 days a week, and I know after 8.5 years, nothing's going to happen to this Texas housing market unless the entire world collapses.
Right.
So if you are thinking about buying a house, 6%, 6.25%, 6.625 are still low. Yesterday, just because the market is insane, yesterday par rate on a par means no cost to the buyer, no cost to the lender. Par for a buyer was 5.875. So we were sub 6.
Yeah.
So rates are not bad, but you can't listen to everybody telling you rates are up, rates are down, One of my clients said, hey, here's a loan estimate from an in-house builder. But we heard rates that just went down. I said, yeah, rates went down this morning and they've been repriced for the worst twice already because of the news that came out. Don't worry about, don't listen.
Yeah.
Right. And so when I priced him their deal today or yesterday, I priced them at 5.99 and the in-house lender was at 6.875. So we're not in this crazy space. Now, if you have janky credit, and again,
it's going to be different. No, but it's going to change things.
If your credit's janky, then please count on 7%, 6.8 or 7. Don't be mad. I'm not mad at you for not paying your bills. I'm not judging you.
It is what it is.
But please don't.
We make choices, right? We make choices.
Please don't expect to be rewarded for your spotty behavior. Mortgages don't work like that. You get rewarded barely for being pristine.
Yeah, barely.
So, barely. Like my clients that are, I had somebody, I pulled credit a couple weeks ago, 825, 818, 810. The husband was 804, 800, 798. I was like, you two are the best credit I've seen in 2 years. Please tell your wife who wouldn't take your last name. Now I understand why.
Not messing that up.
He started laughing. He's the attorney that hasn't done the paperwork for her name to be changed. But and they're like, so how good's the rate? I said, not great, because welcome to America. You don't get rewarded for being amazing. You just get
beat for being not amazing. You get beat.
Congrats, you're amazing.
Well done.
Yeah, congrats. You're not horrible. I mean, but again, you just have to be in a space where you've got a Robin McCoy, you've got a Mylo Draven, you've got us making you laugh as we're giving you the knowledge and we're holding your hand saying, you got this. Like it,
Yeah.
you and I just closed a deal that for you became a nightmare. And
Yeah.
for me, I just had to sit back and make sure as I texted the client, it was a good day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was, because everything on the outside, what you see on social media is, "Whoa, we closed this and it's so great." But behind the scenes, it's what's behind the curtain, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's, appraisal issues on the sale of a house that you're the lender on their next purchase, right? And so there's these dominoes and trying to keep another seller over here. And can we still do this? And did we lock? And now interest rates change from 3 days ago. And now we're locking, and can we ask for buy downs? And can we do all these things?
It is so
But
much.
it all gets done.
Be the leader you know you can be. Build your professional network and access education that takes you where you want to go. We are women of all ages and backgrounds. You deserve national recognition and opportunities to build relationships with people you want to work and grow with. Hit the ground running with the Charisma chapter of the American Business Women's Association. Meetings each month from 6 to 8:30 p.m. on the fourth Tuesday in Farmers Branch, Texas, and online. Come with us. Experience ABWA for yourself. Go to charisma.abwa.org to learn more.
Can we do all these things?
It is so much.
But it all gets done.
Yeah,
it gets done in the best possible way for that client in that moment.
And I laugh. I thought of you last week. I have a new deal. I'm coming in as Super Mylo, right? Cape and all, honey. And but I got the call, and the FHA appraisal in San Antonio came in $24,000 low.
Sounds like mine. Yeah.
So I literally thought of you immediately. And so I said, well, you can, do a rebuttal, do a, reconsideration of value. Apparently they didn't want to do all that. So they wanted to flip it. So we flipped it to conventional. I became the lender, did the conventional appraisal, same house, same house, a week and a half after the FHA appraisal. So this is not like time, elapsed. $30,000 above the other appraisal, which gave us equity of $7,000.
So this is a whole other show about appraisals, right?
I mean, but and you and I know this, when that is life altering money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not the equity that's life altering, it's the appraisal.
You
and I went through it on our deal. I'm going through it now on this one. Like, they were so thrilled, right? And then we look like superstars, but the reality is we didn't do anything, right? The same way there's mud on your face when the appraisal comes low, there's no shine for me when the appraisal comes in high.
Right.
I mean, right. I literally told the client, "Are you sure you just don't want to walk away from this house?" Because I've never seen $30,000 come back. Well, I have now.
Now you have. See, and that's what we say, been in this business 15 years, and I'm still seeing things I've never seen before.
I was dumbfounded. I'm sure I'm still mumbling and stumbling. I still don't understand how it happened.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean, the FHA appraisal even said there are conditions about this home causing this value, but he wouldn't say what they were, right? So then I have the amendment that shows the repairs needed, and they weren't crazy repairs, but some shingles missing. Okay, why didn't you fix the shingles before you put this house on the market? Like, what?
That's another.
If you're gonna put a pig out there, give her a bath.
Put a little lipstick on her.
Put a little bow on her. Let us know she's a girl. Like, give us something. Literally 3 shingles missing. Come on, now you're literally telling the appraiser, yeah, there's other things wrong here. Like, they started looking.
Yeah, because then they started looking for stuff.
The appraiser went out. We got it from 300 to 330.
Yeah. So, and again, that's a whole other show. When we start talking about,
the bottom line for us, for you and I, for our clients is we don't give up. Mm-hmm. We don't start a race we can't finish. And with enough experience between us, we've seen a lot, so we know how to resolve a lot.
Well, and it's when I say, relax, I got this. It's usually because, yes, I've seen a low appraisal and here's what we're going to do about that. And we're going to call the lender, we're going to call Mylo, and we're going to see about A, B, C, and D. And if those things don't work, then we're going to talk about something else. But it's not the first time this has ever happened, and it won't be the last time. And that's why you have the team you do, so that those fears, when everybody, the headlines and your Uncle Bob tell you that it's a terrible time to buy a house and you're busting at the seams and your rent is $3,000 a month.
Yeah. Now's the time. I mean, ultimately, now is the time if you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to keep thinking about it. And there's always going to be a reason why you don't. I would rather not. I would rather be the person that said, I did it, thank God I did it, versus why didn't I do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what I bought last year, I'm a new homeowner, right? It's been a year. Yeah. It's a year this month, like on the 15th. What I bought was $35,000 more when I bought it than when I looked at it a year and a half prior.
Same house.
As I went under contract, a week later, the last two condos sold for $15,000 and $20,000 more than $25,000 more and $35,000 more than I went under contract in a week.
And that's just a week later.
Just a week.
Yeah.
So
if you find
I'm so glad I did it.
Find a house at the price that you can agree to, right? Feel good about, buy it. Well, let's get under contract, because it's going to change. Interest rates are going to go up and down every single minute. And you can adjust that, but you can't get the house for less next week.
No,
it's going to cost you more next week.
We're not. Again, it's a mindset. It's a reconditioning. We're not living in a fairy tale. This isn't a Disney story. You're not buying your dream home at 29 or even 30. What you're buying is an entree into generational wealth.
Yes.
What you're buying is an opportunity to make money. Yes. What you're buying is a little piece of mind, right? This is what I know you tell your clients. This is what I tell my clients. And when you reset that expectation, now all of a sudden that 285 house looks delicious. That 355 that wasn't big enough, the yard was on it. You know what? We'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then, the next thing, and I wish I had known this when I, was 29, is you buy that first house and then you don't sell it, you rent it.
That's it.
And then you go buy your next house. And now you've got this
passive
asset
income
that is just making money.
Yep.
So, that's just kind of, Mylo and I didn't really have an agenda. We just said we're going to talk about what's going on now. And that is people afraid to take that leap because of banks failing and interest rates and what if and the ifs and whats and all of that. When the truth is, like you said, if you have the thought, then the time is now to take that next step and that next step and that next step, because prices are going to go up.
Yeah, and the market's not going to collapse. We're not in 2008. We're not giving houses to people just on a signature and a promise. I mean,
Lord, no.
The scrutiny is real. Yeah, the scrutiny is real. And, if anything, it's getting a little more difficult to buy a home, right? Which is why the lender is even more important than normal, because we're navigating really rough waters. Again, like you said, behind the scenes. My clients don't know the conversations that my processor and I have with underwriters, or, the job, like, you didn't fill out this verification of employment properly. I need this broken up. Well, this is what they get paid. No. I need it line itemed. I mean, that's why there's lines there. Like, there's all of this stuff that we're crossing T's and dotting I's. And when it's all said and done, it's a lot back there.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we had a deal. God, the same realtor that told me about the Tesla. We were going back and forth with 3 different underwriters. The underwriter went on vacation, then another one stepped in, then she went on
Oh my.
vacation. When I tell you we were arguing, I was in Spain and we were arguing about income for 4 days. I get back, everything got settled, blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, the income calculator for the company was malfunctioning. This is what the account executive told me. And so, me, old sassafras. I said, well, back in the day when I was a waiter and the POS system crashed, we'd get a pen and a paper and write things down. Burger, well done, add fries, lettuce, no tomatoes. I said, so I'm confused. Did the underwriters not have calculators?
Because there's one on every, I don't know, because I got one right here.
Again, this is not rocket science math here. This is addition and subtraction.
Yeah. People don't want to, yeah.
But yeah, so
Anyway.
but when I tell you, I was 6 hours ahead of you guys and arguing professionally, right?
Discussing
income for 4 days. And when we finally got the CTC, one of the owners stepped in to help me. He's like, please go enjoy your vacation. But that's, I didn't call my client and go, hey, so we might not make it. We're going to make it because I know we're right.
Yeah.
Like, again, it's just prep work. You know what you can sell a home for because you're doing comps, you're looking at everything, I know after I pre-approve somebody because I have everything. If this goes this way, I'm still gonna finish.
Yeah.
I'm ready for a little bob and a little weave, honey. It's okay.
It's when the big boulder drops in the middle of it that you got to go, whoa, okay, now who dropped the boulder? Why did you drop the boulder? And what are we going to do about the boulder?
Yeah.
So,
but I do have a jackhammer. It's in my toolkit.
That works. I got bolt cutters. We can get through this. All right. Well, I think this was fun. I just want people to not be afraid. I want people to not be afraid to just at least have a conversation with someone that isn't writing headlines.
Yeah.
Have a conversation with somebody that is doing this every single day.
Well, you have to find an advocate in every facet of your life. You have to find an advocate. So if you're thinking about buying a home, stop trolling the internet and find your advocate. Well, you already found them. Here we are, right? You've got a realtor, you've got Robin, you've got me. We're going to tell you the truth. We're not going to beat you up about it. And the reality is, if you're thinking you want to buy a home for $1,200 a month, well, it might be a tiny home somewhere, but there's a home out there.
Yeah. What concessions are you willing to make? Are you willing to live further out of the city? Are you willing to do this? But we don't know until we have those conversations.
Yeah.
And maybe it doesn't happen in 3 months. Maybe it's going to happen in 9 months. Yeah. Because of some of the indiscretions that may have happened. Right?
Not the indiscretions. Yes. But you're right. Don't be scared. It is the reward and the payoff supersede any fear period.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm living proof. I do it for a living every day. And even my own experience, because I couldn't do it where I worked at the time was different than where I am now. But my loan experience was, it was rough. But the payoff.
Right.
I just told you I have
pain versus pleasure. Right.
Yeah, but I've got $25,000 sitting in the bank of equity.
And that was immediate.
Honey, a week.
You've been there a year. Well, yeah, and you've been there a year. It used to take 3 to 5 years to earn any true equity in your home.
Yeah.
Now in Dallas, and I don't remember, I haven't looked at the numbers like most recently. Historically, values would go up about 3% year over year, unless something catastrophic was happening in like the recession or whatever. But now it's like 8 to 10% year over year. Your house is gaining that kind of value. So when you say it's not the house you're going to live in the rest of your life. Buy this house, get the $30,000 in equity, refinance it, lend it or rent it out, take that equity and go put a down payment on your next house.
Because you're not going to save, most people don't save $30,000, $40,000 in 3 years.
No.
They just don't.
No. Inflation's too much, right? But we can use the inflation and the value in the house to do the next thing. So that's your lesson on home buying today. That's
how you make boss moves with Robin and Mylo.
That's right. That's our new boss moves with Robin and Mylo. I love it. All right. Well, thanks for coming back on the show. I always have fun with you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Relax, I Got This. Appreciate your listening, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you know of anybody that should be on this show, or you have a question about anything that we can answer for you, be sure to reach out and let me know. So see you next time on Relax, I Got This.
Thanks for joining us for Relax, I Got This with Texas Realtor Robin McCoy. Check out all the show notes for contact information on Robin and our guests, and to access your free buyer and seller guides. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a conversation. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Relax, I Got This with Robin McCoy.